Hello there, Internet people. My name is Matthew Neighbors, and I'm starting this channel to do movie reviews. I just got out of seeing The Lion King, so I'm about to give you the thoughts, the events of it, and the overall performance of the movie. Fair warning, there will be spoilers. Alright. How I'm doing movie reviews, I've divided it up into 5 categories. There is character development, there is the story arc, viewer enjoyment, creativity/authenticity, and then real-life relatability. Each category can get up to 5 points, but for a total of 10 stars. Don't worry, I'll explain later. So, first up, character development. The character development in The Lion King 2019 is good, to say the least. How it plays out is, well, basically, the characters are that of the original movie. The script is pretty much exactly the same from what I can remember. So you get all those loving references that the characters say in the new CGI live-action format. So overall, character development, it builds up very dramatic. Okay, it is way more dramatic than the original movie, which it's a little longer. The original movie was an hour and 27 minutes, I believe, and this one is an hour and 58 minutes. So, a lot more dramatic. So the scenes have bigger, longer time for dialogue and for character development and everything. So, overall, I am going to give that a character development. I'm gonna give it a. I'm gonna give it a 4. There were things that it could do differently, better, but overall, really good. So character development gets a 4. Alright, up next, the story arc. Okay, we've already seen this movie, so we know what happens. So, with that said, the story arc, compared to that of the original movie, is the same, yet different. Again, remembering this is live-action CGI, okay, so you can't have all of those scenes and everything, but for the most part, everything does happen, just not in the exact way. So, it rounds up beautifully because of that drama that goes upon it, is very nice and just blends in beautifully with the movie. So story arc, I'm going to have to give it a 5. Alright, viewer enjoyment. So obviously this is just my opinion, so I can't very well say how everything goes about for others, but for me personally, I really enjoyed it. Again, going back to the intensity and the drama of it, it really skyrocketed the performance of each of the characters, giving them a deeper feel and a more emotional connection. Because it is an adaptation of a beloved movie, we get that nostalgia form in a new format of live action and more of the effects that we have today. So, overall, I'm going to give it a 3. Okay. The reason I'm giving it a 3 is because, yes, I enjoyed it, but because of that, it just feels like there's more of a the way they did stuff, it was predictable. So, because we already knew and it's an adaptation, that's as best as I can really explain at the moment. But viewer enjoyment, I'm giving it a 3. Alright. Next category is creativity/authenticity. Alright. So, this category I'm going to talk about how accurate it was to the original movie and what they did to make this movie their own. Like I said, how the original was like an hour and 27 minutes and this one's an hour and 58. Obviously, they put in more cutscenes and more dialogue from what they had. So, with that said, like I said earlier, because of all of the new character developments, we get longer scenes of those classic scenes from the original movie. They're drawn out longer, so we get a more in-depth feel of the characters. The songs are beautiful. They are the exact same songs from the original movie. Those original songs that we loved and continued to sing and do adaptations of, that have gone out to do stage performances and everything, is just, they kept that to a T. They didn't stray from that. They knew we wanted it because, well, let's face it, this movie is basically just a cash grab. With that said, we're going to see it anyway because we love it. And we have the new CGI technology to where we can make it even more dramatic and more of a feel. Oh my gosh, with that said, this movie has so much intensity into it from the original movie with the new format and more of a feel. You get a deeper, because of the length and everything, you get a higher, you get more for what you were expecting, to say the least. So overall, I'm giving creativity and authenticity a 5. So 5, because they blended it beautifully. All the songs with that. Now, yes, I'm giving it a 5, but that doesn't mean it's perfect. Okay, because there are scenes that from the original movie that didn't quite make it. For example, the Pyramid of Animals during the I Just Can't Wait to Be King scene. They didn't do the Pyramid of Animals because, CGI, you can't really, if you don't know how CGI works, basically people in costumes dress up and crawl around, and they use computer editing to make them look like what they need. It's pretty hard to stack people on top of people for that, but what they ended up doing was, instead of a pyramid of animals, baby cub Simba came out running in front of the camera with all the animals running behind him, following him, saying, "We trust you will be a good king someday." Another thing that they did an adaptation of was the hyena song, when Scar was singing with the hyenas about how he's going to take over Pride Rock. They kind of cut it a bit. It wasn't the full thing. It was like a poetry slam, like couple minutes adaptation. Because it was nice, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it. But the scene it wasn't that accurate to the original movie, which, again, I don't know if I said this already, but this movie is a reboot, okay? They are making this money to make money. Make this movie and make money. Okay? So, those are pretty much the biggest two things that I noticed watching it. And, okay. So, last category, real life relatability. What I do for this category is I try to see whatever movie I'm watching. Okay? I try to make it nice enough to where, even though it's a movie, there are physical human limitations, whether that be if magic is a part of this, all magic has rules, or whether it's sci-fi, there's restrictions to science that can't be adapted. So how they cut from that to make it plausible. So with that said, in this world, a lion is king of the savannah and looks after all the people, being animals. So, even though they eat like zebras and antelopes and stuff, they still take care of the zebras and antelopes. James Earl Jones originally voiced Mufasa in the 94 Lion King. He voices it again in the 2019 Lion King, if you didn't know that. He just blew it all out of the water. Like, oh my gosh, it was beautiful. Like, getting that iconic character to do this again, he did a beautiful job as Mufasa. Again, none to say the least. But with that said, you gotta think everything kind of blended well, like what I've been saying. Like, even though this is a movie and lions don't really take care of the savannah, in this portion, they do well. Scar, actually, the way they portrayed Scar, yes, he was the villain, okay? But every time he was around Mufasa, he didn't act like a good guy. He acted like that uncle from the original movie, but with like he cared, but like he was just like saying he cares, but like you actually got the feel from his side as Simba or Mufasa being like, okay, I still trust you, but I know you're up to something. So, trying to get this by with how animals actually act and everything, they actually make good, because animals can't really form a pyramid in the jungle. So, overall, I'm giving this movie the real-life relatability category. I'm giving it a 3. Alright. So that's each categories. Now, a few other key points I want to talk about. There are, like I said, they have the exact same script from the original movie. So you get all those beautiful references with a few new ones. Okay? The biggest one I enjoyed, okay, is they reference another Disney movie in this. I'm not going to tell you what, because I want y'all to feel that surprise. But it is a classic line from another Disney movie that's already done a live-action adaptation. Alright? In the past few years. So, with that, they go about it to... It is one of those classic lines Disney uses, and they still use it whenever you go to Disney World. I've never been, but I know they use it there. So, just watch out for it. It's what Timon says to the hyenas when they're being used as bait. So, Simba and all of them can sneak onto Pride Rock to battle Scar. The battle scene at the end, with it being live action, it blends. Oh my gosh. This live action scene is so in depth. You get lions attacking hyenas, crawling around. Like, it looks like an actual lion hyena fight. It's a little computerized, but the way they act and the way they turn and the way that they move is just like how actual animals move like that and fight. They also, when Simba and his cubs, him and forgot her name. Dang it, I forgot her name. Anyway, him and his best friend, they end up wrestling around, and they foreshadow that a lot throughout the movie. Like, when they're going off to the lands, they ended up, the elephant graveyard, where the hyenas are, they ended up wrestling twice, and what's-her-name pinned him down twice. Alright? They foreshadowed that later on in the movie when they meet as grown adults. They're like, Simba recognizes immediately because of how she pinned him. So they get a lot of that, which is just the way they set up the movie for. There's a bunch of stuff like that throughout it, which is very nice. But so going back overall, now I have 5 categories, 1 through 5. 5 points in each category, but they're not points 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The way I set up, point 1 is 0. Point 2 is 0.5. Point 3 is 1. Point 4 is 1.5. And point 5 is a 2. So each category can get up to 2 points. Alright? So, character development got a 4. So that is a 1. That is a 1.5. So 1.5. Story arc, that got a 5, so that is a 2. Viewer enjoyment is a 3, so that is a 1. Character development is a 5, so that's a 2. And then real life relatability is a 3, so that's a 1. So overall, out of 10 stars, I'm giving this movie a 7.5. Alright, so I'm giving The Lion King 2019 a 7.5 out of 10 stars. This movie is very nice. I encourage you to go see it if you're a movie lover. I love all kinds of movies. Okay, I've already rated. I created this rating system back in September, October. But I've been watching movies my whole life. I love all kinds of movies. If you want me to review a movie and give you my thoughts on it, name it down in the comment section below, along with the year and any details in case there's like another adaptation of it. I will give you my feedback on it and what I like over each of my categories. And you can tell me if you agree with them. If you don't, let me know. Hey, I love talking about movies or anything. Alright. So with that said, thank you for watching the video, if you're still watching. Leave any comments in the section below, and I will get back to you on any other movies I come review. Alright, peace out.